Welcome, guys, to another episode of ScenicFights, Fight Scenes Breakdown. I'm Chad Vázquez.
I'm Logan Lowe,
the Mint King, and we have a very special episode today. Thanks to a Discord user for recommending this to us, we are doing our first anime breakdown. The show we're looking at is called Kengan Ashura. It's on Netflix. Pretty much just to give you a little idea of what the story is about. These companies, whether big or small in Japan, participate in Kengan matches in order to have fighters that they hire to represent their interests, and whoever wins the deal that they have. The fight scene that we're breaking down is between two characters, Kanoh Agito and Ōkubo Naoya. And Naoya is the MMA guy, so there's a lot of cool grappling MMA stuff in this fight scene. All right, you guys ready? You better be ready. You ready, buddy? Let's do this. All right, so it's a fake to a double.
Okay.
Sprawl, right? So it's wrestling happening there.
Oh,
all right,
Jesus.
knee to the face. It's happened to my fights. Nice leg kick.
I remember that. Oh, this is
Right,
legit.
Yeah, the form actually looks pretty good. Yeah, right? Kicks to the arm. All right, so what's cool there is that's such a real thing. Like kicking it, you weaken the arm so they can't use it as much. I like that.
Oof.
Okay, all right, so we have a tie clinch.
That's brutal.
All right, so little funny story. Kanoh gets punched in the face, and the reason why that happened to me.
Okay.
Your head has to be tight to your opponent's head. If you're like this,
Right.
the guy could just swing. And that's what happened to my fight.
Okay.
I caught the dude, and he just swings over and catches me right in the face. I was like, all right, dude, you're good. I just let him go, and
Right.
we're back to just square one.
So you got a flashback.
Yeah, so actually, you know what? We can break it down a little bit on
Okay.
just some basics on a tie clinch and what you shouldn't do. What I learned the hard way in one of my fights was if you're gonna go to a tie clinch, some details here. Both forms are right by the collarbones, and I connect my hands like so, right to the crown of the head. Now, if my head's out here, what happened in my fight? Yes, overhand. And that's what happened to Agito, where he got punched real hard. So in a tie clinch, you wanna go head to head tightly so you're not so exposed for punches like that. From here now, I can start throwing my knees, right? So that's one of the main weapons in this position, particularly this variation, where now from here, I can start kneeing very effectively. Now, in the combat sport of Muay Thai, you can't do throws or takedowns like you see in mixed martial arts. It's illegal, right? You can't just grab someone, pick them up, and slam them. You can't wrap your limb around theirs and pull, but you can do trips. So one little example, from this clinch here, I'll circle Logan out, and I can possibly have a post there with my foot to create off-balancement, a possible knockdown. So I'm not gonna take Logan down, but just to show the off-balancement. So from here, as I move Logan, I create a post, and that, if well timed, creates a knockdown. Let's look at it again. Head to head, and as I move him, I create a quick post. And that trips him to a collapse. All right, so double A takedown. He's in his guard.
Okay.
So he's ground and pound. All right, so big problem there. Kanoh doesn't cross his legs. He's using the guard wrong, right? The feet should be connected somewhere, either to each other or on the opponent.
Gotcha.
So he had a chance to go to a closed guard. Agito, he's just framing and just bringing his knees tight here. Well, instead of doing this, wrap the legs around like so. Okay? Now, my legs, my hips are above his hips, and I have more control than what you guys might think. Right? This is a closed guard, also referred to as a full guard sometimes from other coaches. All right, goal number one. I have to get some type of upper body control. I can't just reach and grab, especially if someone's trying to punch me. Right? I can't just reach here. I'm gonna get clocked. So I have to use my legs to make him base out and expose himself so I can get grips. So we do knee pulls. By pulling my knee to one of my shoulders, that you can see, so it's creating off balancement. Now, if Logan's trying to punch me, first I have my hands up, right? But by pulling, he has the base. Now I can start getting some upper body control. So that's objective one. Objective two, attacking. We need one, either the elbows outside or across my center line for attacks. To do this though, two, we need to constantly do angle and misdirection, right? So whenever I'm attacking someone, my best attacks will come where I have control and I have an angle, not straight on. The thing is also, the guy's resisting me, right? So during the battle, I'll also have to know how to switch sides. So if anything fails here, I'll have to know how to unlock my legs, use my knees to turn, and relock. Unlock my legs, use my knees to turn and relock. That's my movement goals when it comes to doing different type of attacks. All right, so in closed guard, it's going into a triangle.
Oh, got out.
All right, so it's a nice scramble going on here.
Reversal.
Yep.
Nice. Another reversal.
Yeah, so now it's just happening a scramble. No one has a control, so it's just, that's why these scrambles happen. Okay, Kimura from close guard. Let's break that down. Kimura is something I haven't really talked about in detail yet, especially from close guard. And since we just had a talk on what close guard is, that's actually a very important move to know from position. So let's actually go into that right now.
Yeah, and we also did the Kimura with the man from nowhere, where he was done standing.
From a standing position.
Right.
Yeah, so now actually we'll go into the ground and actually teach you how to actually use it to break the arm, essentially. So we're battling. As I'm trying to pull him in, I want to get a wrist grip. If successful, I have to get over his head. Heads are one of the barriers that stops you from going for a Kimura. So from here, I can hip out, unlocking my legs, using my knees to turn my butt, and that allows me to come over and get another wrist grip. What you're looking at right now is a basic Kimura control. There's more to this, but this is the basic version of it. Now, what happens a lot in fighting? The opponent will hide his hand. He'll grab either the inside of his thigh or stomach. From here now, I have to find a way to pull this out. I can't just pull it, just my arm, especially if it's a bigger guy than me. So I can use my legs. One example, my legs can unlock and grapevine towards inside his legs here as best I can, especially if they're wide, like so. As I stretch my legs, I do a side crunch and I pull the arm out. Now my big goal is this, guys. I gotta get this hand behind his back as much as possible. If I don't lift it up, he can just go back to his defense. So after I get it out here, I'm going to hip out towards the camera and bring my foot up towards his far hip. My knee is downward. This angle I created allows me to take this hand and bring it over top of the back so he can't defend anymore. This will also make breaking the arm very easy. Now I relock my legs to the far hip. Now the finish. I lean back, I pull his elbow into my armpit, I hip up for pressure, and now my elbow goes downward, and that puts pressure right to the shoulder. That's how you finish a Kimura from close guard. Agito got that, but then the scene changes and we don't know how Ōkubo got out. Agito did not finish the fight there. We don't know how Ōkubo got out, but some ideas on how I can defend myself from that lock. Well, let's say I give Logan the Kimura, right? So you get the wrist here, right? So quickly, I want to hide my hand, as I mentioned earlier. Personally, I like to aim for my stomach and grab the stomach. Now, guys, you want to start stacking into your opponent using your head. Remember I told you earlier, angles? Logan needs a dominant angle to break my arm. So we're gonna do a little trick here to put pressure on the arm so he can either let go or we'll shoulder lock him back. Watch this, guys. As I stack Logan, my free hand can go and grab my wrist. I can pull it and start lifting up and putting pressure on his joints here. From here, he'll either have to let go or tap here. And that puts pressure around his arm. So by myself, I grab, I pull and I lift, and that starts twisting his shoulder. From here, most people will let go because it does hurt their wrist or shoulder, or they might tap. You also saw how Logan's legs open. I can also use it to jump over his legs and extend my position. That's maybe what Ōkubo did. We don't know because the scene changed on us. All right, so back to reversal, go to his back. Okay, they're scrambling a lot, but what they're showing is actually essentially what Jiu-Jitsu is. Jiu-Jitsu is like this algorithm, right? Take the fight to the ground, pass legs, because legs are dangerous, they can hurt you. And of course, establish position, then attack. Attacking is the fourth step, whether it's punches, joint locks, or chokes. So this nice scramble is kind of capturing what the algorithm looks like in combat, even though, it's just, there could be better control. So I appreciate that. All right, is mount position? Okay.
That's so serious.
All right, so some problems here. So right now, Kanoh's just blocking, right? And he's not addressing the situation. Ōkubo has a control which allows him to punch.
And the control is?
The mount itself, the pin, right? He's sitting on his hips there. So right now, he should be doing something to off-balance him. Let's see what happens now. Just punching away. Yeah, he's just blocking.
He's just
not phase.
Really.
Okay, reverses him over.
Reversal again.
The more putting submissions over the position, that's why this is epic scramble happening.
How effective is that to do this?
It'll keep you alive for a certain amount of time. Eventually, you have to address the pin. You have to address the control that's allowing him to punch you. Okay, so hip bumps, that's valid. Let's talk about the mount and what you should do if someone's pinning you and punching you especially. Kanoh's getting mounted, right? This is a mount position. And he's getting punched at. He just hovers here. If I don't deal with this and I'll balance him, he will be in position to sit on me and keep on punching. He does do something correct, which is a bridge. Now, I should quickly, by myself, demonstrate some key terms I'm gonna use so you understand what I'm saying as I demonstrate two very simple examples of how to escape that mount position. Let's teach you guys simply what a bridge, shrimping, also known as a hip escape, are. From this back position here, I'll adjust my feet, I'll pick a side. For now, I'll move my feet towards my right side. Now, this allows me to turn my body like this. So here's a downward knee, one knee upward, I'm pushing up this leg. This is how I start off balancing opponents who are pinning me. Now, let's quickly show what hip escapes, also known as shrimping, are and how they work with bridges. From here, everyone, as I turn to my side, I extend my hips up to my shoulder line. So everyone see the shoulder line here? My hips have to reach that line. And I do an arm limb extension, side to side. That is called shrimping, also known as hip escapes. Okay guys, we now know our movements, our vocabulary. Let's go over some escapes here. Very simple one. Posture, game punch, have to address posture. Look at my legs. I'll use some form of a bridging action, but I'll put a knee behind his tailbone and get hands basing. Now I bought myself time where I'm not getting punched. Now ideally, when Logan wants to punch me again, fighters will lower down their hips and hands will actually walk towards the upper body. So you see, there'll always be a body contact before he'll just posture, right? Because my hips are bridging, they're moving. When I feel that, I can gain quickly 2 grips, right? And I move this hand towards my chest as much as possible. Now I know what you're thinking. It's a free hand. I have to act quickly. You don't pause here. We'll just reposition to show you the reversal. So now I have my 2 grips here in the joint, right? On the wrist and the elbow. The next thing is, especially I'll be doing this when his head's already leaning forward a little bit, is I need to trap one of his legs. I'm doing that now, guys. I'm trapping this leg because this is the direction I'm gonna roll Logan. I don't want him basing any way that stops my roll. So now everyone, once I have my grips here, my head moves out of the way. As I go, I could still knock him over. It won't be enough. My hands go right into the arms for safety, so I don't expose myself for certain submissions like the Kimura.
All right, squaring off.
All right, so go at it again.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
That's very MMA, where there's a fake to another attack. This is actually a cool little thing they did here. We see Ōkubo go for a fake shot to an overhand. It's very classic. First, there are fakes and there are feints. What's the difference? I will use the jab as a way to show the two differences. It's easier that way. A feint is this. That's a feint. A fake, that's a fake. All right, what's happening here? A feint is where I don't fully commit my body. Why would you do this? You would use to test the reaction of the opponent. So I'm fighting you here, right, and we're sparring. That feint, I'll use it to see how you react. This is a very important tool to use against counter fighters, guys who know how to read the body and react and time you. So if I'm not confident enough to attack the guy here, by just taking a step, a small squat, and a small lean, I use my body to signal that I'm about to attack, which I'm not though. I'm just seeing how the guy reacts. Faking is misdirection. So for example, with the jab, I could fake to the head, pull back, and then hit the body. That's a fake. I misdirect my opponent. Head, he goes guard up, I pull back, boom. I pop the body. I can also mix different punches. Fake, cross, right? So I go fake, body shot. What Ōkubo did was he did a fake shot. So Ōkubo goes for a fake shot. And you see wrestlers do that because they're confident. They're confident ability to shoot in. So when I go into my fake shot, you'll see Logan react to it with down hands. So fake shot, overhand. That's very effective, especially used very well by strong wrestlers in mixed martial arts. They have the ability and confidence to shoot in people's legs, and they create that threat early. And so when they see a guy react to it, leaves him wide open for overhand punch. All right, so that though is interesting. So you actually see it both in judo and wrestling. The version that we see done is more of a judo version because there's this pick up drop effect. That move is referred to as a koshiguruma. So from here, we have a lifting effect. Cross step, and I turn my grip to here. Using my hips, I'm pulling my partner over, creating off balancement, and this pickup turn allows me to drop my partner down. This type of takedown also exists in wrestling. So in wrestling, from here, they'll go into the same position, but they'll pull the guy down and just pretty much drag him to the floor. From here, same control, but now with my hips, I start pulling it down, we're going to go slow, right into a similar pin in judo.
Rear naked choke.
Joe, but no hooks.
You got out.
All right, fake, right to, so that's Kubo's thing. He was going to buy locks or doubles.
Gotcha. Ooh,
right.
soccer kick to the head.
Man, just launched him.
That's illegal, right?
Yeah, and professional, yeah, that's.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, certain fight promotions, they allowed it. But now, nah. Okay, creepy smile. All right, so he goes real quick for a shot. He tries to get his hands down to block him, but he gets a wrist control.
Okay.
All right, don't know how real that is. We just grab someone's wrist and punch him, but it happens, okay. Right now he's just wailing, he's blocking. So, okay. Kubo checks, he's gonna go for a shot, or he's going for a bylock or a double. And now he catches him. So what happens, okay, so one thing that's pretty cool here is Ōkubo is showing a pattern. And now Kanoh sees the pattern and he catches him. Right? He keeps, if you notice in the whole fight, Ōkubo keeps shooting.
Right.
So he starts catching on. Oh, okay. Front suplex. Back to mount. And that's the end of the fight. Fight over. Kanoh wins. That's cool. So a fighter shows a pattern, and the advanced guy, he can recognize the pattern and catch him. So I think they capture that concept that happens a lot in real fighting. So I appreciate that. It's pretty cool. We see Ōkubo go for a takedown. Now this is very important because throughout the fight, he goes for it a lot. And he'll pay dearly for it because he keeps showing a pattern of his fight style. Basic rule for double legs, and then as you get better, you can break this rule. It's best to do it in a matching stance. In the event that I try going for a double here, there is a lot of space for a knee to connect to my face, which will lead to a knockout. If we're gonna do this safely, best stance is matching, in this example, orthodox against orthodox. So now, whatever setup I do, my head gets in nice and smoothly to the hip there in a shorter distance, so the chance of me getting knee in the face goes down. All right, so that's how we approach a double leg. Whereas I step, I level change, and I catch, and I really bend my wrists right over the knees so he can't defend so easily. I want to create that turn and that drop and that side, almost like I want to pass his legs as I come to the floor. First, I want to say as someone who is a huge anime fan, I want to thank you for recommending an anime fight scene. I really appreciate that. I also really appreciate this fight scene too. There's a lot of cool stuff that we saw together, right? A lot of modern day reference to combat styles that are used in the combat sport of mixed martial arts. We saw wrestling, judo, Muay Thai, boxing, and of course, my favorite, Jiu-Jitsu. What I liked was in the progression of the fight, Ōkubo was telegraphing a pattern that he kept doing. He would a lot of times duck in and go for a body lock or a double leg, and he was also using feints and fakes to do that. One, I really like that, right? Because it shows the writers their fight IQ on how combat works and how to trick the opponent. But what I also really appreciate is that Kanoh picked up on the pattern and eventually countered and won the fight. So that progression of a fighter doing a pattern and then a fighter adapting to that pattern, I personally thought was really cool because it captured a big concept you see a lot in fighting in general. What I'd say overall though is the transitions can have been a bit better as the fight was progressing, but it was a cool fight scene regardless. My final grade will be an A-. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. If you're interested in training with me, learning Jiu-Jitsu or MMA, my Instagram handle is in the description below. Also, make sure you support the channel. Buy these awesome shirts, hit that subscription button, and in the comment section below, let us know of any future anime fight scene breakdowns that you guys want to see. All right, guys, peace.